Isn't that a beautiful sound? The birds are rejoicing. I'm rejoicing. We had some rain come into the area yesterday and we got a nice soaking. Everything is well watered. We got enough rain to penetrate through the mulch and go down a few inches. And now today the sun decided to shine and just a few fluffy clouds in the sky. Absolutely gorgeous. Hey there, little buddy. What are you doing? Come on over here, say hi. Come here. Attaboy. Hey, how you doing? So I'm getting ready here to harvest this horseradish plant for its roots. The leaves are also edible, but I'm going to be pulling up the roots today for use in a recipe. And I'm going to try to get all the roots out of the ground, as leaving behind even a small piece of viable root can resprout a new plant, which is a great thing, except I want to relocate this plant. When I put this in the ground, there was a wider open area, and since then I decided to drop in an autumn olive, which is now filling out nicely, and I really want to promote this plant and not disturb the roots too much when I'm harvesting the horseradish. So I'm going to bring this to another area of the yard. This will be my first harvest of the root of the horseradish. Like I said, the leaves are edible. Actually quite tasty. It reminds me of arugula. I'm going to be using this spade shovel and try to get around the root mass without damaging the roots. First I'll bring back the mulch. You can see all the mycelium there. Let me give you a closer shot on that. So this here is more than likely just a wild mycelium, as I haven't inoculated this area with any type of edible mushroom spawn. And when I see this, I get really excited, because to me, this is an indicator that I have a healthy ecosystem occurring back here. And the mycelium, being the vegetative or the body part of a fungus, it can actually start to spread itself out in a landscape that's left undisturbed, so no tilling, no shoveling. And if there's plenty of organic material, this mycelium can start to work its way through a landscape and provide numerous benefits to a garden. One thing it does is break down decaying organic material, whether it be wood chips, fallen leaves, pine needles. It's going to break that stuff down and turn it into valuable humus for the soil. It can help with water efficiency, acting almost like a sponge, helping to retain and distribute water through a landscape very effectively. It can aid in breaking down different toxins that may be located in a soil. And what I find most interesting is the mycelium's ability to attach itself to the roots of plants, working as a filament, which will then give plants in that network access to a vast area to further uptake nutrients and water. And I'm still learning more about this, but it's a very exciting topic to me. So there you have it. Not much to speak of, kind of what I anticipated, being there was just one plant growing over here and didn't get much attention from me. But this will be adequate for the recipe I'm going to be putting together. Looks like we got the majority of the root out of the ground. Just the very tip broke off, so a new plant may reemerge next season, which is fine. I'll just dig it out and transplant it at that time if that's the case. But while I'm in the kitchen preparing this for my recipe, I'm also going to take a couple chunks out here where the roots are growing and bury that in another location in the garden, and hope to see some horseradish reemerge next year. I'm going to be harvesting a few other ingredients out here for the recipe, and I'll be uploading that over at Plant Based Eats. If you guys are interested, I'd invite you to go check out that channel if you haven't already. That video will be coming up later today. But I wanted to share with you this as well. This is the Loquat tree. This is November 9th, 2017, and if we take a closer look at some of these tips, you can see the tree has begun to flower and set little fruits. I'm a big fan of the Loquat tree, not just for the delicious edible fruits it produces, but for its ornamental value. It's got quite the tropical-like appearance, and it's an evergreen. And because of its evergreen nature, it does a great job as part of a privacy hedge or blocking out any unwanted views that you may have from your yard. So look into the Loquat if you haven't already. So I'm also going to harvest some of these cayenne peppers for today's recipe. I use cayenne pepper fresh. I use it dry in a powder form, and I also just recently made a tincture and I'm starting to utilize it that way. This plant has a myriad of uses that can be utilized to benefit your health, many of which I'm just learning and studying about right now myself. But this is another thing I'd encourage you to look into. Hello there, little lady. You all been very quiet lately. So the final ingredient I'll be harvesting from the garden today for this recipe is some of this rosemary here. I'm also using some store-bought produce, but perhaps some of you guys might know where I'm going with this. Horseradish, cayenne pepper, rosemary. Anybody have any idea what I might be making with this? If you think you know, comment your answer below the video.